Have you ever really stopped to think about what it takes to become a surgeon? I mean, we see it on TV all the time, but the reality is a whole different beast. It's a trial by fire filled with exhaustion, insane pressure, and this profound change that happens to a person. In this explainer, we're going to peel back the layers on the intense, personal journey of a surgical resident and really piece together what makes a surgeon. And boom, we're dropped right into it. This one line says it all, doesn't it? There's no off switch. Work isn't a place you go, it's a thing that's tethered to you, even when you're sleeping. Sleep is a luxury that can be snatched away at any moment. You're living on high alert 24/7.
So that leads us perfectly into our first theme, the grind. This is all about the pure physical and mental beatdown that defines this training. It's a constant uphill battle against the clock, against exhaustion, against your body's own limits. You know, the uniform really does become a second skin. Scrub pants, a badge that's always swinging. This isn't just an outfit, it's who you are. It means you're always in motion, walking, or more likely running, down those hospital hallways. Always heading to the next fire, the next patient.
And this detail, this isn't just about having a long week. Being on your third call in a row is a whole other state of being. You know, rest becomes this fuzzy, distant memory. The days and nights just blur together into one long, continuous demand for your attention.
Oh, this is one of those small details that says so much about a life lived on the absolute edge. Drinking cold coffee from yesterday, it's not because you forgot to make a new cup. It's because you literally don't have the time or the energy for the most basic acts of self-care. It's pure survival mode. I mean, this phrase just perfectly nails the disorientation. When you work all night, you are literally chasing the sunrise. It's such a great metaphor for living a life that's completely out of sync with the rest of the world. Time gets warped. This grind isn't just about hard work. It's about fundamentally rewiring how a person exists. So in the middle of all this exhaustion, the resident also has to learn these incredibly precise technical skills. And that brings us to our second section, the craft. This is where we see how those skills are forged under the most intense pressure you can imagine. Just picture it for a second. You're trying to perform some delicate task, and your boss, the attending, the expert, is literally breathing down your neck, watching every single move. And that calm voice? Don't let it fool you. It's not a calming presence. It's the sound of impossibly high standards. And those sharp eyes, they don't miss a thing. This is what learning on the high wire looks like.
And this right here captures the internal battle perfectly. On one side, you have the human reality. You're scared, you're exhausted, your hand might be shaking just a tiny bit as you hold that needle. But on the other side, the outcome has to be perfection, a clean knot. The resident has to literally conquer their own body and mind to get the job done right. After all that pressure, after that intense scrutiny, you get these three little words, "Nice job, doctor." And man, in that moment, those words are everything. It's not just a pat on the back, it's validation. It's a senior surgeon saying, you did it, you met the standard, you belong here. And that feeling, that light inside me, that's the fuel that keeps you going through the rest of the grind. So this whole experience really points to a core idea in surgical training, and it's called tearing down to build. Now, this isn't just learning stuff from a book. Think of it more like a hard reset of your brain. The training is designed to break down who you were before, your ego, your habits, your physical limits. And why would they do that? To rebuild you from the ground up as a surgeon, with the right reflexes, the right emotional control, and the unwavering focus you need when someone's life is in your hands.
But of course, a transformation like that comes at a huge cost. So let's shift gears and talk about the incredible emotional and psychological load that these residents carry. We're calling this section the weight.
This is just so hauntingly beautiful. The hospital itself becomes a place filled with memories. A hallway ghost isn't something supernatural. It's the lingering presence of a tough case, a patient you couldn't save. The names on the whiteboard aren't just a to-do list. They're people, they're stories. And sometimes, they're reminders of loss.
So what do you do with all that weight? Well, this metaphor is just so powerful. The pockets of your green scrubs, they're not just for carrying pens and scissors. They become these symbolic spaces where you carry the stories, the wins and the losses of every single patient. It's a weight you carry with you every single day.
And along with that weight comes this crushing, soul-searching doubt. When things go wrong, this is the question that echoes in a resident's mind. Did I mess up? Could I have done something different? It's this awful burden of responsibility, where the line between what you did and what was just meant to be, well, it gets terrifyingly blurry.
So this brings us to our final section, where we kind of pull all these threads together. After everything we've seen, Is this whole process ultimately about breaking a person, or is it about building them into something stronger?
This list just perfectly captures the emotional roller coaster. It's this constant push and pull. We cut it close. That's the adrenaline. We almost cry. That's the human toll. We hold a life. That's the insane responsibility. We wonder why, the existential dread of it all. But then you get to the end, the line that powers everything, and still we try. That's it. That's perseverance in its purest form. And here it is, the central question of this whole journey. It's the one every resident has to ask themselves in those quiet, exhausted moments in the middle of the night. Is this punishing, brutal process destroying the person I used to be, or is it forging me into the surgeon I'm supposed to become? The scary part is, it feels like both are happening at the exact same time. And then, the narrative gives us this incredibly powerful final statement. It's not a question anymore, it's an answer. This whole ordeal, the grind, the pressure, the weight, the doubt, all of it is the process. It's not a flaw in the system, it is the system. This is how you break someone down in order to build them into a surgeon. So the thought I want to leave you with is this. What does it say about the people who willingly choose this path? And what about the resilience it takes to not just survive it, but to come out the other side ready to hold a life in your hands?